we go, a little more here. That's not bad. Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of the Torchinsky Files. I was sent recently a huge, ridiculous amount of car brochures by a friend of mine, and there's so much good stuff in them. So periodically, why don't we together go through some of them and see what's fun inside here? Because there's a lot of brochures in here from like the 70s and 80s of cars that would be very unlikely to have encountered. So join me, won't you? Of course you will. You're right there. All right, so we got here first. We got a Cadillac brochure that says "Beyond the Future," and as you can see on the front, there's an image of what the future looks like, which is a long, never-ending highway with a single unbroken line, and then kind of weird airbrushy mountains and gleaming, and a gigantic Cadillac shield coming at you. And this whole brochure is all about just Cadillac's late 70s computer technology. Look, they talk about digital fuel injection, onboard diagnostics, and electronic climate control. It's interesting, just that Cadillac decided to put out a whole brochure just based on their goofy little digital driving computer stuffs. Here's a fun one for Americans because we don't see many Renaults. It's a Renault brochure, and so it's for the Renault 15 and the Renault 17, excellent little French front-wheel drive cars. And when you look at them, you realize these were actually pretty cool-looking little cars. So this is the 15, the little coupe, which is basically like a little two-door kind of fastback hatchback design. But what I really like is the 17. Look how hot this little car is with these. They replaced the rear window with these venti things. That's just a cool-looking little car. These are awesome. And speaking of French cars, this is an amazing one here because, okay, it's a Citroen brochure, but it's special because it's like a styling manifesto from Citroen, which is really unusual, which is also why there's this interesting concept car rendering on the front instead of any production vehicle. This Citroen, the pyramid-like Citroen concept car that we're all familiar with, there's drawings and like marker renderings of it inside here. Some really amazing stuff. Look how simple Ferrari's brochures were. This is like black and white photos. Couldn't even spring for color. This looks like a newspaper, like advertising insert for like a mattress sale, not a Ferrari. Oh, and there's the Boxer Berlinetta. Also doesn't even get color. Boxer Berlinetta, 80 grand. Come on, Ferrari. These people are dropping a lot of money in your cars. Now, who shouldn't be embarrassed? Cadillac's 1978 exterior colors. But what I want to make note of is nowadays, if Cadillac were to have like a brochure of their colors, it would be like 12 shades of gray, 32 shades of black, like 5 whites, and maybe there's a blue or red. But look at this rainbow of colors Cadillacs used to come in back in 1978. It's brilliant. Look at all these colors. You've got golds and oranges and different kinds of sea mist green, black watch green, colonial yellow, western saddle fire mist. That sounds like the name of a magical horse that's going to take me and a lover away somewhere. Autumn haze fire mist. Look, there's a whole line of fire mist colors. Like, these are just like fantasy character names. Look at this. And then they have a whole separate area just for their vinyl top colors here. They even give you samples so you can feel what the vinyl roofs were like. So when you were buying your car, if you were thinking, I want to know how would the vinyl roof feel rubbed up against my cheek, you could actually go, oh yeah, that's the Cadillac I want right there.
Oh yeah, that's the Cadillac I want right there.
Anyway, amazing color selection from Cadillac back in the day. Oh, our own Bradley Brownwell sent me this wonderful VW Transporter brochure here, because this is the era when Volkswagen was still using paintings instead of actual photographs to show their cars, so everything looked a little roundier and sleeker. This one shot always gets me, because the Volkswagen pickup is it's such a good use of space. You had this full flatbed here in the back, engine tucked down under here, all 3 sides fold down, and then you have this massive trunk underneath the bed. So you could have exterior cargo storage and then protected locker-like cargo storage in here. And look at this massive pallet of just stuff they have shoved under there of tubes and boxes and this weird wicker basket with like a gingham cover of it, like they've got like picnics crammed in there. It's such a huge volume. 65 square feet. That's a lot of square feet of stuff to jam up under there. Oh, love it. So good. some significance for me because as a kid, I remember going car shopping with my parents and seeing some of the last Volkswagen Beetles imported into America in 1980. They came in technically as 1979 models, and it was only the convertible, which was Super Beetle based, but I remember seeing this edition of a Beetle convertible in the showroom and falling in love and really wanting my parents to buy one. We were coming from an old 68 Beetle, it caught on fire, they were buying a new car. I was pushing for, let's just get another Beetle. It was either that or a Pacer was my second choice, but they were very rational and went with a Honda Accord back there in 1980. Now let's end this with the Clinay. Clinay is interesting. They're kind of like Excalibur, where they would make these kind of retro-styled cars in the 70s. It was super fancy, but kind of tasteless, and that kind of lots of open shirts and gold chains kind of way. And yet they would always make these cars, and they'd get like just off the shelf like trailer turn signals and taillights and things in these things. It always kind of killed it. Anyway, I've got so many more brochures I could go through. I have a whole stack of them, but that's probably enough for now. So look, thanks for hanging out with me in my basement, listen to me geek out about some car brochures, and I'll talk to you soon.